Welcome back to another conversation that I have been bubbling over all day and just could not wait to talk to you all about our conversation today. So, we usually share with you all things our life, our content that we share with, our apps and just tutorials that we think people need because it comes across our desk and just our weight loss journey. So all of it, we just give you what's going on in our life. And what has been happening is you're going to see my little gnome in the back. My granddaughter's grandmother, other grandmother, we have been on this little gnome mission. She gave me a gnome, I give her a gnome, and gnomes represent abundance. And so we just keep giving each other gnomes. It's a cool thing, a cool little thing between us. What has been happening is I want to go back to I think it was November, but I feel like it was a little bit later than that. But we live near a university, and at night we do not sleep with our TV on. And I don't sleep with the TV on or usually music because the way that I dream, I pull all of that into my sleep. So I said, no noise. But when you live near a university, it's parties and it could be loud. And so I said, okay, how can we add something to our sleep, but it not affect our sleep? So there's a gospel pianist who has a channel. It's called Dappy Keys. And I was introduced to him some years ago, and I started to listen to him over the last probably 2 years. So before we made our transition here. And I would listen to him, and sometimes I would say it sounds like we're at a funeral because it's, the piano version of a song. But the one good thing is you would have such good dreams because you could wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it would be a version because it would play like 8-hour increments, right? I would let it play for 8 hours, and you would hear like I Surrender All or just your old hymns. What happened next was because of the algorithm on our social media, it began to pick up these frequencies, and the frequencies would just automatically flip over and play. So this is what it looks like. In our room, we have 2 nightstands, and I usually have my phone charging, and then I turn my phone over and I put it on a frequency and I let it play. And I usually find one that's like 8 to 11 hours and I let it play all night. So I went and it started to do this because it started to come up in my algorithm, and next thing you know, I had this different music playing, and not, it wasn't on my own accord. It just happened where it flipped to this frequency, and the frequency started to play, and it would be 777, and it would be 432, and it would just different frequencies. And so I started to hear the frequencies, because you get up in the middle of the night, and I'm like, this is beautiful. This is beautiful music. So I began to start to share with people in my family, and I started to say, I think something I can only attribute this to the frequencies, that something's happening to me. I would wake up and struggle sometimes with either I have these sometimes it's my calling on my life. Sometimes these like really low moments, and then just sometimes low moments where you're not sure what's going on. You're picking up like an empath, right? Where you're picking up certain things. The Lord is speaking to you about certain things. I dream, so I have to filter out all of that. So some days are just interesting. And because of that, I started to notice with the frequency music that something was happening, that I woke up and I was really like recharged, and I had a great amount of energy, and I'm 50 years old. I can tell you guys that. And next thing you know, I was like, man, something is going on. And I started to tell people like something is going on, because you can hear me when I have really, really high energy, and they're like, hey, I'm like, let's go for a walk. Let's go to the gym. Let's go do this. Like very productive, and just felt good, and not just good, like happy, but joy. This sense of like weightiness, even in the sense of different things happening in your life where you're concerned about them and you're thinking, how is this going to work out? Even in those situations, and I have great faith, but let's just be honest, life is life, and then different things come up upon us. It was just this surrender to God, in the sense that I just had this feeling and I couldn't explain it, but I just said, it has to be these frequencies that I'm listening to. So then I started to delve in and do some more research, and then I started to find frequencies for just about everything. And I started to think about who has this issue going on, and maybe frequencies can help more things than I know, right? So I started to look up, okay, it's one for depression and one for anxiety. And then I started to look up cell regrowth. I have 432, and then I started to see the binaural, and then I started to see 528 for cell regeneration. I later saw a psychologist, I believe she's a psychologist, on Instagram, who shared this 7 hertz sound, and it's for creativity. Now that's a hard one for me to listen to, and I'm pretty creative on my own, but I thought about it and I was like, there's some things that I want to do this year as far as my goals, and I started to, like, in little small increments, I could do 7 hertz. And so then here's the confirmation. So I'm going to give you the confirmation moments of what is happening and why I'm sharing it with you all. And I wanted to share it with you, but in the last 24 hours, like I kept saying in my content of what am I going to share on my YouTube page, this was in the list to share. It's very authentic, because you're like, Rhonda, you're into hertz. Yes, but my life is completely in the background. I have so much to share with you all, and I'm just, giving you pieces at a time. And when this came up, again, this was not anything that I was looking for. It just, because of the algorithm and the next song that played, I was on hertz. So when I looked at the 777 hertz, just to stop there before I go forward, the 77 hertz, I since 2011 see numbers, right? I see numbers. So if you guys ever know the story of, my book was published on 2/22/18, and the reason why was because in 2011 I kept seeing 111, or this number 111, and there were 222s, and I share it with different people, and I'm like, you don't see that? And they're like, kind of. And it's kind of like a thing that will happen to you. I call it an awakening, right? A piece of an awakening that's happening to you, right? And since that happened, I see multiple numbers, and the 777 came up. So the 777 hertz was amazing. And if I'm not mistaken, there's a 444. There's so many hertz, but I don't look at them for that, not for those reasons. There's a lot of prosperity and abundance. Those are what came up first for me. Then I started to delve into frequencies and say, wait a minute, now I'm starting to feel that this has healed me, even during the time, and I'll put that in this video, my blood pressure. So all of these things are happening at the same time. Was it swimming? Was it losing weight? And the frequencies, all of this is happening, and I'm coming off of blood pressure medicine. So I shared this with my brother, I shared it with my sister, my longtime best friend. I shared that with her last week, and I was telling her about it. Shared it with my grandmother, and my grandmother and myself had a long conversation. And I said, Grandma, what if this, I said, remember Lucifer was the angel of worship, right? And I said, what if worship doesn't sound the way that we think it sounds? What if the worship is the vibration and the frequencies, right? And what if our carnal bodies, our human bodies, can't articulate that, right? We can't hear all of those things. So she looked at me and she's like, you know what, Rhonda? And so I'm telling her all of these different things, and I sent her some music that she can listen to. So for everybody that's been coming along, whatever issues that you have a heart issue, I found a hertz for it. You have blood pressure, I have a hertz for it. If you have a back pain, I have a hertz for you. And let me just put this disclaimer out here. Should have put it out in the beginning. This is not like, still do your due diligence. Do not say, Rhonda said that this is going to completely help you. I'm giving you my experience and my experience only. I do not want you to stop taking medication. Walk your journey, but this may be a method, and I really believe it's a major thing that can help you to heal some things. So some of my journey, as well as this piece that's going on, is now that we have moved to this new location, one of the things that I say often is I believe that we are here to heal. And I have been going through this healing journey. What does that look like? It is so vast. It is changing my diet, plant-based, cutting out certain foods. Sometimes every now and then I might, now it's Girl Scout cookies. My husband had me like a like a stalker looking up the cookie girls on the corner to get him his cookies because it's cookie season. But we still indulge, but not the way that we used to. And moving over to plant-based and really studying, and we're going through menopause. So those are some things that we're looking at. So really just healing, but healing even with past traumas that happen in our life, because I have a whole life and a whole lot of things that have happened, and I have been angry and just so many things, right? So I was here to heal, and I'm still here to heal, and I'm healing, saying sorry, making amends, going through OA programs, whatever I need to do, I'm doing it. Cold showers to bring blood pressure down, right? Cold showers to work on anxiety and depression, going for walks, going outside, being in the sun, taking vitamins, you name it, whole program, right? So while this is going on, I'm sharing this with my loved ones, and I'm finding hurts for every situation until last night. Not until, because it's still going forward, but last night there was this video that came up with Wyclef Jean, and he begins to tell this story about NASA contacting him and asking that they were letting him know that they were going to go up into space. They were going to record the sounds that they heard in space, the frequencies, and then they wanted to put it in his song. And I have to tell you what this song is, right? We're not getting credit for it, but I want to tell you that I went to go listen to this song. Borrowed Time. Borrowed Time by Wyclef Jean. So I went to go listen to it last night, and I'm like, oh, you can hear these different sounds. And even the person that did the interview was like, NASA? I think it was Sway. NASA called you? And he's like, yeah. And so I listened to the song, and I was like, okay, this is a thing. Now we get to this morning. So as soon as I see that video, the people that I shared it with just recently, I said, look at this. This is like, guys, I'm on to something. And I have to crack up, because I even said to my grandma, I said, Grandma, as far as study, I'm a very spiritual person. I study spirituality. I study self-care. Those are my lanes, right? I'm not a scientific person, but lately I have been delving into, because I want to understand this, and I know that I'm onto something. So much so that last week there was a TED Talk, and the TED Talk was about people that they put on these vibrational chairs for 23 minutes, 2 times a week, with dementia, to help them with their dementia. Their dementia did not go away. However, it stayed the same. So it was, for me, I was like, okay, that says something, that, they're using this as a way to heal, right? A way to heal. So what happens last night or this morning? This morning I wake up and my brother sends me this clip. It's Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard, you all know him. Hustle and Flow, Lucius from Empire. Not sure if you know, but he's a very intelligent man. And it's this conversation that he had at Oxford about the frequencies. And one of the things that stuck out was our musical sounds. And the musical sounds, one thing that he pointed out was the oxygen, and he started talking about the oxygen and this formulation, phosphorus and oxygen. And he says in every thing that he named had a color. And I chuckled because he says, well, if you get over F and F sharp, it has a color. And the color is chartreuse. And I was like, that is my favorite color. That's why you guys see me like obsessed with green. Because it wakes me up. It's something alive about that green. And he talked about just hearing the sound in certain songs and the DNA. So it made me say today, I have to share this with them. I don't want to wait too long, because that was 2 months ago. And he is studying frequencies to work on healing AIDS and healing cancer. And so I literally fell out the chair and started sending it to people, because I said, guys, I told you that I am on to something, and I know that this is a thing. So I just want to give you some of the things. I'm going to put this a picture in this video, and it is the solfeggio. There's a book called Solfeggio Frequencies, and that's by Celine Welsh. And that's how to activate your self-healing powers with healing tones, sounds, vibrations, reduce stress, and achieve new health, right? There's a book. And then I'm going to put up the 9 characteristics, because when I first told my brother about this, I said I had to do more research, because for everything just about that you are struggling with, I know there's one for my fibromyalgia, there's one for weight loss. The 295.8 is a frequency for that, and then 7's for creativity, 528 for regeneration. But if you look at the 9 characteristics of solfeggio frequency, you see how I get excited about it. There's 9, and on here is 174 hertz, and then it has the hertz on the side too. That's for removing pain. Number 2 is 285. I've listened to that a lot, influencing your energy fields. Number 3 is 396. That's liberating guilt and fear. Look at this healing. This is healing. 417, undoing situations and facilitating change. These are all ones that have pretty much come up, and then I started to search them, and I'm like, I am on to something. That's 4. 5 is 528, transformation and miracles. That's DNA repair. Number 6 is 639, connecting relationships if you have some stuff going on. Number 7 is 741 hertz, and that's expression and solutions. Number 8 is 852. This is returning to spiritual order. And number 9 is 963. That's what we slept with last night. That is connection to the cosmos awakening. So another description for that one is like your connection to God. So even there's a sound for connection with God, and we sleep with it all night, right? Because we want to be close to him all the time. I will tell you that our life is changing. I will tell you that our life is changing. Inwardly, how I feel, how I'm healing, how I'm moving, the energy that I have in the pool, my husband, we say Holy Spirit, our intuition, just our spirit man, and like, hey, we need to go move and do this because we think this is going to happen. And then sure enough, that's a whole other YouTube video I can tell you about, a thing that happened last week. And my husband said, hey, let's go do this. And I was like, okay. And I didn't fight him on it. I could have said, I don't want to go do that. And I knew why. I just knew. And I even said to him, I hope this doesn't take place, because the way that you moved with that, I feel like you really had a strong gut feeling that this was going to happen. And the next day it surely happened. So I just wanted to pop on today to give you guys something to think about. I think Terrence Howard, I know he's on to something. I have been, like I said, I'm not a science girl at all, but I have been pulling this apart on my side in the background for a while now, because I just started to notice that I think it was the 432. I said, something's happening to me. I feel different. I feel not heavy, or the things that used to bother me don't bother me so much, or I have the answer for them. Even with regular vitamins and just high vibration, I think I have a high vibration. I think that things are coming off of me. Scales are being pulled off of me. Things are being healed. Cells are being healed inwardly. Do I have documentation to say that this is happening? I do not, but I'm telling you, I would not come on here and do this video if I didn't think that we possibly could have embarked on something that's ingenious, and I don't want you to miss it. So I know that this is a lot. It was heavy. You'll have to pull it apart. I'm not done pulling it apart myself, but I will continue to watch Terrence and the discoveries that he makes, and Wyclef at the same time, and just pulling apart the books. And we talk about it on our assembly call. You know, we do assembly on Saturdays, and we've talked about it, and that was just a interesting one Saturday, interesting thing that happened. I was telling my girlfriend about it, and I was like, you know, I've been listening to Hertz, and then he brings up the 440 Hertz, and I said, this is what I'm talking about. I told you that I'm on to something. So to me, it's just continued confirmation that we're on this path, and I do believe that God has so many natural ways to heal us, and that we do not have to stay bondage to all of the things that are going on. All right, that was a lot. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, be blessed, be incredible, have an amazing week. Until next time, this Wednesday, we will be at our free movie that we told you about. So we'll do a video about that so you can see that whole process. I gave you part 1 where we went on the website and we did the movie and all of the different things. And then we couldn't reserve. So we came back for part 2 and we found the movie that we could reserve. Now we're going to go watch the movie, do the popcorn and all that good stuff, and have some fun. And it's a date night. So you guys take care, be blessed, and as always, until next time.